So like myself and many others who started a YouTube channel in 2022, what's it like to start one? How easy is it for a small channel to grow? So today I'm just going to talk about some positives, the negatives or the difficulties that you'll face, costs involved, and then also some tips and tricks just to help you get going and also speed up your workflow to get those videos out quicker. So as always, I like to start with the positives, and basically you do what you enjoy, you know. I like creating these videos. When I first started, it was a bit more difficult, but I think now I'm getting better at talking to a camera. I think I'm sort of coming out of my shell a bit more of me as a person. You know, when you sit down talking to yourself in front of a camera, it's very daunting and intimidating when you first start, and you often do what we used to call it work two-stroking, so like a two-stroke lawnmower where you start, you're stuttering and you're a bit nervous. And so leading into that, you grow, so you learn and grow. Like one of the first things that I did was I was always looking not into the lens, so not basically into the camera, but looking at the screen. So right now I'm talking into the lens, but if I do this, I'm talking into the camera. I'm talking into the screen at the back of my A6400. So it's like I'm looking for John down in aisle 4 at the supermarket. So I'm not actually talking to you guys. I'm not looking at you. It's like I'm looking for John. John, is that you? You see the big difference there between looking at you and looking at someone else. And then also there's the option to be paid. You know, a lot of people have a goal to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's their first goal. That's also my goal. It's not the only goal. I think if you go into this looking to just make a fortune and become the next Casey Neistat or the next MKBHD or something with like 10, 15 million followers, they're built over years and years and years of hard work, dedication, etc. If you look at one of Marcus Brownlee's first videos, he looks about 10, still in nappies. Hope he doesn't mind me saying that. And basically he's using a smartphone or something. The actual video, the quality and everything is absolutely terrible. Where he is now is not where he started. And that's, I think, something that you've got to take into consideration, really. Also allows you to be creative, to do things that you may not otherwise be able to do. I personally, my full-time job is within aerospace. I work within the engines that go on aeroplanes to fly on holiday. I work on those, and that's not creative, you know. It's very black and white. It's data-driven. It's yes and no answers. So this gives me the freedom to be creative, play with drones, play with cameras. A hobby, basically, but a hobby that maybe one day will grow into more than that. And that brings me on to the next point, becoming full-time. Doing this, basically working for yourself, full-time, doing what you want from home. I mean, what's better than that? I mean, I currently work at home, but only because of the coronavirus pandemic. I'll soon be moving back to the office. And I'm not looking forward to it. You know, I've enjoyed being at home, and that's what a full-time YouTuber will be able to do. Choose your hours. If one day you're not really feeling it, you may be able to just skip that day. You know, that's something which any self-employed person, I guess, has that benefit and has that option to them. And there's also, you interact with like-minded people. You can make friends, potentially meet up with people. I've just seen some recent videos of Peter Lindgren, who's based in Sweden, with Peter McKinnon, who's based in Canada on Lake Como. You know, if those two weren't content creators and got talking through various social media platforms, that wouldn't happen. And that's something that can happen to me and you as well. It's not just them. Can happen to anyone. So you'll also learn about cameras, specs, full frame versus mirrorless, apertures, all that good stuff that you may be able to then implement outside of YouTube. Maybe you want to start doing some photography work on the side, some photo shoots or something. You're going to learn about cameras and how to use them as you progress. Same with editing software. The first time you use it, you're going to be like, whoa, what is this? But as you continue using it, you gain tips and tricks off of the likes of YouTube. There's plenty of channels which are dedicated to just video editing in certain softwares, and you learn and you grow, and that's fantastic. And you can take that with you, even if you don't succeed with YouTube, you take that with you. So it's not always a lost cause if you decide to go down a different path and not do YouTube. So the difficulties, the negatives, the big one will be the competition. You know, if you're doing a review of a product, unless it's super niche, you're going to find that there's probably tens of hundreds of thousands of competing reviews. So you've got to try and be different, you've got to try and be individual and get yourself out there and aim for each video just to be that little bit better than the last one. Another negative is is views. You know, I think I'm guilty of this, and I probably need to practice what I preach. But if you search for something, let's say DJI Mavic Air 2 cinematic drone moves, because I just did a video on it. My video will not be the top viewed video. It's only got like 20 something likes, so it's not done very well for me. There'll be videos with tens of thousands of likes. Now, psychologically, your brain instantly goes, well, that video has got to be better because it's got more views, more likes. But it's not necessarily true. It may be worse than your video. But it's one of those things which we can't really do much about, but we hope that people will click on our video. And the same goes for subscribers. If you've only got 100 and something subscribers like me, I think it's 137 at the time of this, you know, it's easy for someone to just skip by. But if you've got 200,000, people seem to go, oh, well, I want to jump on that train. The views and subscribers, it's like the blind following the blind, or like sheep following sheep, if they're sort of the right things to say. I know black sheep's the one that does something else, isn't it? But sheep following sheep. I don't know, but I think you get the idea. And I think I have to mention the dreaded but ever-changing algorithm. You know, I see a lot of videos where people are saying, oh, like the video for the algorithm. But I believe now, from what I've seen or whatever, it's changed now to watch time. So YouTube as a platform wants people to be watching or staying on YouTube and watching your videos. So I think audience retention and getting them to watch as much of your video as possible is now the new way forward, rather than getting subscribers and likes, which don't help people stay on YouTube. So the algorithm's a tricky one, and we've just got to try and work with it. I'm not going to go down the route where I'm just going to do a video on trending topics to get views and whatever, because that's not what I want to do, and the videos are not going to be very good if I'm doing that, because I don't want to do it. You know, it's not for me. I don't want to be forced into creating a video just to get watch times, likes and subscribers. I want to do it naturally, I guess. I want people to want to come and view what I'm saying and hopefully learn or take something away from what I'm doing. I absolutely love getting comments on videos. That's a major problem. If someone says, I had one the other night on a coffee video I did saying, oh, some of the other videos of this topic are a bit blurry, you've just like nailed what I wanted to know. Amazing, perfect. That's what this is for. That's what I'm here for. I love that. Comments like that are super, super positive and like endearing and make me want to come and do this video now, really. So yeah, just watch out for the album. Equipment. You know, equipment, I think it is a difficulty. The top YouTubers are using tens of thousands of pounds worth of camera equipment. If you've got your phone, use your phone. You know, I know there's a lot of talk that the camera that you've got is the best camera to use and all of this and whatnot, but my phone, it's an older iPhone now, it's not very good. You know, I wouldn't use it personally, but if that's all I had, I could use it. But then the difficulty is using that, quality is lower, the microphone's not very good. So is it going to get views? You know, people are going to click on it and click straight off because quality's not great and it doesn't look good. So kit is a difficulty, but I'll get onto that when talk about cost. And then I think experience, you know, so if you're an experienced YouTuber, you're very natural. The way that you create your content, I think it seems to help. You know, I've placed a light up here today. I wouldn't have thought about that before. It's behind that photo frame, which is blurred out because of that Sigma 16mm f1.4 beautiful bokeh we get. But there's a light behind there. I wouldn't have thought about that before. Little experience, thinking about where you can sit. You know, I've got a little bit going on in the background, but not too much. You know, that is all experience, which I think helps. You know, I personally, I think if I'm sitting in a little bit of an environment where it looks a bit more interesting, I would be more interested in a person. So I try and input that into my videos. So if we talk about costs, there's certain things you're gonna need, like a video editor. I'd suggest DaVinci Resolve as the free version to start with. I do have the studio version because there's a few bits that I wanted, but it's not a huge cost. I'll put it on screen now. I think it's about £275, something like that. But it is a one-off fee, so you're going to need some sort of video editor. You're going to need a laptop or a tablet or potentially your phone, not really though for editing the videos. I know LumaFusion, if you've got an iPad, is a very inexpensive option if that's something that you want to employ because you don't have a laptop. I've got a M1 MacBook Air, that works perfectly for me. I had that really before I started this, so I was lucky in that way, but again, £1,000 laptop, it's pretty pricey. You're also going to need a music service subscription. I use and recommend Epidemic Sounds, massive library and super cheap. Nothing more to say than that, really. I also use TubeBuddy as well, just to help with, they do like an audit before. So they make sure you've got everything in there. It looks at your videos, and it helps with keywords, for keywords of your videos to help it get in search. So it looks at what's being searched on YouTube, on Google, and then it helps you decide if what you're putting in your title is good or not. Also helps with search engine optimization. Great little tool. To be honest, I picked it up on offer early in the year. I think I got a year for about $20. I know it's a bit more expensive than that. So would I pick it up now? Yeah, I probably still would, but I picked it up super cheap. So I can't really say much more about that. For thumbnails, etc., I use Affinity Photo. So that's a raster-based program. So it's basically a mix of Lightroom and Photoshop in one program. It's currently on sale right now at the time of filming this video, I think for £25. I think it's usually about 45 or 50 off the top of my head. Worth it, definitely. Great tool, easy to use. But if you want to start something free, I'd recommend using GIMP. But it's not the easiest to use. I didn't use it for very long before I jumped on Affinity, but if you're tight on money, definitely recommend that. Then there's plugins. So Motion VFX do some free plugins. They also do paid ones, which a lot of the big guys and girls use. I've got the free ones at the minute, but I am going to look at probably putting in some paid ones soon, just like call outs, titles, different effects, trackings and stuff that you can buy for one-off fees. So there's something that may interest you to have. And then we've got just gear. So you've got my camera, the A6400. I use a Rode Video Mic Go 2. I'm using a Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. We've got a Godox SL60W with a whatever the name is, can't remember. It's down in the description. Softbox. So yeah, with all my kit, I'm probably in for the tune of about £4,000 or £5,000. That's accumulated over a little bit of a time, but you don't need all of this, but it is expensive. I mean, the things I definitely suggest if you're going to invest is your camera, a good lens, a good microphone, because if people can't hear you well, what's the point? And good lighting. If you look at some of my older videos, which is using just a cheap Amazon softbox, it's night and day between the lighting, and it really does push the level of your video up massively. So if you're still here, thanks for watching. Do me a favor, if you won't mind, please like and subscribe to the video. Let's all help each other. That'd be good. That's tip number one. Help the lower channels. So be consistent. If you're releasing a video once a week, try to keep to that schedule, because people will want to follow that schedule. I follow a few different channels. I know one channel posts around 10 o'clock every single Saturday and one every single Sunday. And a good way to do that is to try and get a bit ahead of yourself. So get 1 or 2 videos up on YouTube ready to go. All the settings done. All you'll have to do is change from private to public on the day that you want to release. So that's a top tip. Be yourself. Don't try and be anyone else. There's only one you, so there's definitely room for YouTube on you, because no one else can be you. So I don't think there's anything else to say on that. Have a niche. So YouTube likes you to be specific in what you're creating, mainly so it can push it to the target audience. I started with coffee, technology and cycling. It didn't work, because what was happening was people who wanted to watch coffee videos didn't want to watch anything to do with technology. So the coffee people were unsubscribing, because naturally they're not interested in technology, they're only interested in coffee. So you can see where I'm going here. So I've literally had to scratch 2 of those ideas out, and we're going down the tech, photography, video route now, which is slowly progressing for me. So be careful of what you do. When you've got a lot bigger following, hundreds of thousands, etc., or even thousands, you can just every so often branch off and just do a very off topic compared to your usual videos. For example, if I was to do a video of me going to the shop and buying some bananas, no one would watch that, no one would care. But if Justina Zerek from iJustine, a massive tech channel, went and bought some bananas from an American, I can't think of the Whole Food store, is it? People would absolutely be raving it. They'd love it, they'd watch it, because she's got such a big following. People want to know what she's doing. People want to know her as a person. They don't want to know me. And I get that, you know, I understand that. And then, so another top tip is spend 50% of your time on the first 30 seconds of the video, your thumbnail and your title. YouTube at the minute seems to be very key on audience retention after 30 seconds. It seems to be a very key metric that it's obviously using. So top tip is spend 50% of your time, your editing time, on the thumbnail to get people enticed to look like a good thumbnail so they want to watch the video. Title, make it appealing. So if it's, rather than saying cinematic drone moves, put 5 reasons to make your drone footage better. It's a bit more appealing, it's a bit more compelling to click on it. And obviously make sure the first 30 seconds are engaging. Maybe you've It's called the hook. So make sure you've got the hook in the first 30 seconds of the video, just to entice people in, bit of a cliffhanger to keep them watching. If you give them the best section in the first 30 seconds, they'll probably watch that and click off. YouTube won't recommend it. You know the cycle. So I hope you found those tips, tricks, and everything useful. There's definitely space for one more YouTube channel. That could be you. Definitely room to grow. Definitely room to enjoy yourself. And with that, please subscribe. Please like the video, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.